Today, Rusty Sutton with the Green Monkey in North Carolina is joining me, and I am so excited for you to meet Rusty. He is one of my favorite retailers. He has so much energy and joy, and something that I just feel like he is a pro at is creating a passionate, loyal, supportive community. And he has so done that in Raleigh, North Carolina, where his store is. He's going to talk about what happened during COVID shutdowns and how they really pivoted and adapted and how his community just showed up. We talk about the challenges of being a business owner and the joys of being a business owner and working with your spouse and all sorts of good stuff. So let's dive into this episode. Hello, I'm Crystal Vilkaitis. I'm a curious, wine-loving entrepreneur who loves to learn and have open and honest conversations. Join me and my amazing guests as we talk about all sorts of relatable business and life stuff. It's my goal that you'll have fun, learn something new, and get inspired. Wine is not required, but is recommended. This is Crystal Uncorked. Rusty with the Green Monkey. I am so thrilled that you are on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. I'm a little nervous. I don't want to mess up anything because I consider you famous. So I'm really, I'm really honored to be on your show with you. So thank you so much.
I am so incredibly honored to have you on the show. And I have to say that you make me feel famous because I have to share this real quick and then we're going to talk about what we're drinking. I will never forget the time that we met because we were in America's Mart. I was having breakfast with a friend and I was like super casual. I even remember what I was wearing. I had a Colorado state flag t-shirt on and I was walking out the doors and I passed you and we smiled at each other and we leave. And all of a sudden I hear Crystal. And so I, turned back around and you're like, hi, my name is Rusty. I've watched your social media tips on YouTube. I think we got a picture, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I have to get this picture and I'll put it up on the blog. And I left there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel somebody recognized me. This was so amazing.
And I didn't realize that you had only started like in 2012.
Yeah.
And don't see, we had started in 2013. And so I didn't realize because you acted like you had your stuff together.
Well, I have some stuff together and then maybe some not. Isn't that part of business and entrepreneurship, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But wine helps when you don't have it all together. And
Yes.
I know that you've got some beer today. So tell us all, what are you drinking today?
Well, I am drinking. I wanted to support, since you're in California, I wanted to support one of our local beers here in North Carolina. This is Southern Pines. And it's a single hop Pilsner. And I'm just really getting into this. I used to not like, I only did IPAs, but now I'm getting into these single hop Pilsners and lagers.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I miss beer. I used to drink beer and then it just doesn't settle well with my stomach. There are some gluten-free beers out there that are great,
Yeah.
but I switched to wine, but that sounds delicious. I'll have
And
to
I
have
love
Dustin
wine.
try. Yes,
And
yes,
I love
you do.
wine too. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What do you like better, wine or beer?
Oh, I probably drink now more wine than I do beer.
Okay. Are you red wine or white?
I'm a red wine all the way. I just found one rosé just a couple weeks ago. One of our reps brought it in to me that I am liking now.
Okay.
Because it's 100% Tempranillo and it doesn't really taste like a rosé to me.
Ooh, okay. You have to share that with me because
Yeah.
I do love Tempranillos. I'm not a big rosé fan, but I do have one right now. I'll send you a picture of it. I can't think of the name. It's got like a rose on the bottle of it, on the bottom of the bottle. I don't know if you've heard of that one, but
Uh-uh.
Anyways, I'll send you a picture. But what I'm drinking today, so I was trying to find in my wine collection, I really need a better way to store. I have wine like all over the house. I was trying to find something that had a monkey on it for the Green Monkey, which I couldn't find, but this label is green and it's a Zinfandel, a 2018 Pacificana. I'm a part of like a wine subscription club, and so I get to try different types of wines that way, and that's how I got this. But it's California wine. It's a Zinfandel. It's great. So cheers, Rusty, for being on Crystal Uncorked. So glad you're here.
And I want you to know, thank you for the recommendation of Austin wineries. We actually now carry that in our store because of you. You kept saying that it was, and we're carrying, we don't have the very top line yet. We have their medium line, the Paso Robles, something like that.
Paso Robles.
Oh my goodness. That is some good stuff.
Oh my gosh. Rusty. Okay. So this is really cool because we have to I need Austin Hope to know I'm feeling like a wine influencer here now. That is so cool. So do you have their, by chance, do you either have their Quest or Troublemaker?
No, we do not yet.
Okay. Check those out because those are also kind of like the medium. They're both blends, but the Quest is a Cab Franc Cab blend, and that is one of my favorite blends. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But you kept talking about it on a couple of your first shows, and I said, well, Drew and I were talking. We're going, okay, we got to find this wine. Let's see if it's available in our market, and it was, and it was with one of our favorite distributors too. So that made it even better.
Oh, good. You gotta. I mean, man, get the word out in your town about that. You are going to have people waiting outside. It is so good.
Yep. Yes, it is. I have to agree with you.
I love it. That's awesome. Okay, good. Okay, so Rusty, I just have to say, you are one of those. So as I mentioned in the intro, Rusty owns with Drew the Green Monkey, a fabulous gift shop and bottle shop. And if I were to have a store, I would do it the way that you guys have. I would totally have a bar and serve beer and wine, very smart. But I just feel like you're such a bright light, and I always love your energy. Rusty does a lot of live streaming videos on Facebook, not afraid to put himself out there. They're awesome. I want to know from you, what is something that you just absolutely love about being a business owner?
Oh, the people. I love meeting all the new people because I come from the accounting background. I went to school to be an accountant. And sometimes I wonder if my mom and dad have figured out, is he using that accounting degree that we paid for? But I would always get in trouble because when I started in accounting, they wanted me to sit at a desk and do everything, but I wanted to go talk to everybody. So I said, well, I better get into some type of other career that I can use I got the gift of gab from my dad.
Okay.
And so I love talking to the people and I just love the people, and we get to meet so many awesome people here at the Monkey. And then probably the second is shopping.
Yep.
Because I love going to shop for the gift shop, which gets me in trouble sometimes, and we're trying to fix that.
Yeah, I could see that being challenging. I have always said, so for my non-retail people who listen to this show, retailers go to wholesale markets to buy their products. And these markets are multi-building, multi-floor monsters where you've just got product and product and product for days. And I'll never forget my first time in America's Mart in Atlanta, walking the halls being like, what is this place? I am not a big shopper. I actually get very overwhelmed with shopping. And so I was really overwhelmed being in that building. And I always admire you retailers for going and just how do you buy for your store? It's just...
It was overwhelming for us.
Yeah.
I mean, that place is huge, and you can't really explain it to people. Because they're going, what? We have a big mall here in Raleigh, Crabtree, and I just say, okay, just think of Crabtree with on every floor, and there's 18 floors in 3 buildings.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's probably really hard for people to understand and even
Hmm.
visualize. Like it's something you just have to experience. It's wild.
Yeah. Yes,
It's wild.
absolutely.
Okay, and the people I could see, I feel like you have created just such an amazing community locally. And for you to say the people, like that so translates through what you're doing on social media and in the videos that you guys create. So I feel like you're just so in the perfect place for who you are.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
And
I love
everybody
it.
else does too. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
totally agree
believe
with
it.
that
I believe
statement.
it. Okay, so flipping the script on that, what is something that you find being the most challenging being a business owner?
Um, the numbers,
Yeah.
and I have the accounting
With the
ability.
accounting. I
Yeah,
know.
but retail is a different animal.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I know how everything should balance and all that, but you just don't know what, um, where are the benchmarks? And it's so difficult to find the, um, the benchmarks that you really need for and our format, my business model is so different.
Right.
And I'll never forget when I went to SCORE, just before we opened, I made an appointment with a SCORE mentor just to say, really what I wanted him to say was, okay, tell me this business plan is going to make me money.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget this. He looked at it, he went over it, he asked me some questions. He said, Rusty, no one has done this. I don't know what to tell you. I will tell you this. It's not being done, and go for it.
Love
And so
it.
we did. We did. And I don't say we were, I guess, too naive to know we couldn't do it. And I think
Mm,
sometimes that's good.
yep.
Um, and so we just did it, and I knew what I wanted. And even when we tried to, um, the first year, it wasn't the way we wanted it, way I wanted it. But the lady that helped us get it, she told me to try it. I mean, and I figured she's been in business longer than I have. She's the one that gave us the money to start up money, not give, loaned us the startup money. Um, and so I finally, someone said, Rusty, because it wasn't working, doing it not my way. And they said, okay, listen here. This is the best advice at that time that anyone has given me. He said, and he was a tattoo artist. He said, Rusty, if you don't do it your way, if you're doing it not your way and you feel you're still going out of business, what's the difference? At least if you do it your way, you'll know that you tried it. And if you burn out, you burn out. That means it didn't work. And you'll know for sure. But if you don't and you go and it doesn't work, you will second guess yourself for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And that has never been more truer words. And I'm so happy here we are 8 years later.
Wow. Though, I mean, awesome advice. Thank goodness you guys talked because I really do feel like you would walk away with regret being like, I didn't do it the way I saw my vision, what I wanted. I bet a lot of businesses get into that place of, it's hard starting a business and
Yes.
you don't know what you don't know. And so you look for advice and you might go down one path that you really don't feel like you're aligned with. And it can be hard to stick to your vision and your truth, but I'm so glad that you did.
Yeah, so am I. And so is Drew now because he's here now full time for the last 2 years, and he was in a job that he was very unhappy with. Um, but he was one that he was beginning to doubt it too. And then I said, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it my way. And now he pretty much lets me do it my way. I still had to consult him and Denise. Even Denise is she is our integrator now. So thankfully you gave me the rocket fuel, and we
Yes.
all three took the test in there. And
Good.
what was really funny was Drew did not come out of either one of them. He
Oh,
hates it. We knew he wasn't a integrator. We knew that,
Yeah.
but I mean, but the book it was so good. And Denise, there was no doubt. It said yes. You were the integrator, and she said, "Okay, so I get to boss you around." I said, "Not exactly, but kinda,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just
You got
you
some
get to tell us,
talent.
yeah, you do." And she's had the power anyway. We tell her she has the power to shut us down with one button. She knows everything.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
but
was
thank you for
laughing because
that. Yes.
yeah, oh my gosh, of course. What I love, you are so somebody who listens to something and you're like, I'm going to try that. I'm going to look into that. That sounds like what I need. And you take action.
Hmm.
And that's the only way you're going to see results. So I love working with you and having you. You're an insider member of ours, Get Listed client. You do the work, which creates the results. So I love that. But I was watching one of your lives earlier today. I caught a glimpse of it where you said you were like meeting with your accountant or something, and you had to call Denise because she knows your QuickBooks better than you.
She had I couldn't even do something because she had the password or something. She
Yeah,
had more power in QuickBooks than I did. And I
yeah,
went, that was so, yeah,
I know.
yeah,
It's funny,
that was
but
funny.
really, like you just can't run. You cannot operate a business and visualize and think and plan and go charge ahead when you are doing all of the day to day too. And so I'm just really, I can't wait to see what happens for you guys. It took us a solid year and a half to 2 years to get Pauline like full integrator and for me to really
Hmm.
let go. But I can't wait to see what happens with you guys. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm excited about it. They're excited about it. And, we're still working out some kinks, like you said. So,
It's part of it. Now, you mentioned Drew. So, what is it like running a business with your spouse?
um, we have actually, I think, become closer as a
Oh,
couple. Um, we don't always see eye to eye, but now that we each have um, duties and
yeah.
positions, that has helped. And
Yep.
like there were a couple things I had to let go of and let him do it. And, let him figure it out on his own, whether he failed or not, he had to fix it.
Right.
And so that was hard for me just because this is my baby. And it has been very hard for me to let go. But
Right.
I never wanted to be a micromanager. And so one of the mistakes we probably have made though is not giving clear roles to all of our employees, including me, including Drew, Denise, even our part-timers, which over the last year we have tried to do. Because that
Good.
just makes it less confusing for everyone.
Yep. It's so easy as a small business to be like, oh, hey, can you also do this? And can you also do that? And will you do that? But then there's no clear like handover and written, this is your job description. This is what
Right.
you're responsible for. And this is how we measure success. And so it's really easy to wake up one day and be sometimes it causes like frustration. You're mad at somebody. What happened here? Why did that happen? And it's like, well, was I supposed to do that? I mean, you're kind of set up for failure when you're not really clear in that way. But it's easy to do that as a small business because there's 5,000 things that you need to get done with 3 people. And
Yeah.
so,
And it's really surprising who showed me that. That was Drew. Drew showed me that. He doesn't show me much, but that he said because he's better at the HR because he has been a manager um, on almost every role he's done outside of here. Hasn't been retail or anything like that. Whereas I've always been the what I call the pretty one. I'm the sales guy. I've always been outside sales and all of that. Um, and so sometimes you have to learn that um, you don't make the best manager.
oh, Rusty, we got cheers to that, my friend. We have to cheers because
Yes.
yep.
I know you have said that before, but I don't know how you took it because I didn't take it well.
Oh, I didn't either at first.
I
It
didn't.
was hard. I mean, Pauline straight up just said to me, "You're not a good manager," and I couldn't sleep. It kept me up. I kept hearing it over and over in my head because we want to be great at everything, right? And
Hmm.
you take offense to it, you take it personally, but then I started thinking, and I'm like, okay, so what would make a good manager? What could I have done different? And things just start really connecting. And then there's acceptance, and it's almost like the process you go through of death. It's like a part of you is dying inside, and it's really the ego wanting to be like, I'm amazing at everything, but you kind of grieve like, oh, I'm not, and you have to accept that and move on. And thank goodness for both you and I, we have people that were readily available to step into those roles because
Yes.
they're not easy to find. I think the book says only like 30% of the population are integrators. So
Hmm.
well, Drew's not your integrator. You have Denise, but still having a good manager makes a big difference
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he manages because Denise is off site. She's in Georgia.
Okay.
So she has to manage everything there. But then, so what he does is he is in charge of the front now, and we all have goals, and she makes sure that he is getting his goals and what has to be done, even though she's not quite on site. So we did have to modify it a little bit, but he knows if she says something, it has to be done. I know if she says something, she's telling me because I have given that as a goal and it needs to be hit. Um, and so that's why, and again, it just goes back to um, everyone knowing what they're supposed to do.
Yep. Ultimate clarity.
Yeah,
Everybody's rowing in the same direction. We know where we're
yes,
going and we trust each
yes,
other. And then there's
yes.
accountability. Denise is really holding everybody accountable to making sure it gets done.
Because as owners, we can get lazy.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
because there's no really, I don't have to be held accountable for this. Whether, yes, you do. And you are accountable because your profit margin is your accountability. I mean,
Exactly.
right. So,
Exactly. It's so true. It's so true. It can be easy to be like, "Oh, I'll do that tomorrow." And then tomorrow comes and stuff happens and you're like, "Oh no, I wish I would have done that yesterday." Like, and the wheels start falling off. So yeah, I'm so glad you have Denise. And I want people to really understand that, especially if you have a physical storefront or business. Denise, integrator, not in the store location, like doing this remotely.
hmm
So, how
hmm
do you have a few tips that you could share with us of how you make that relationship work well?
Well, she started here in the store, and then her and her husband moved to be closer to the grandkids. Um, and and we could not find anybody to replace her. We had one person, we ended up letting her go. Um, and I figured out, I mean, this was during the time we had her in our like 2 to 3 weeks, and Denise really had not left yet. And we just talked with Denise. I said, Denise, most of this stuff you're doing is in the cloud. You can do this from almost anywhere. Um, and I have Drew here to do the stuff you were doing in the store. Um, and so I said, would you be willing to do it? And I said, you're working from your home. And she said yes. And then her husband came up to me and said, thank you. I mean, he wanted her to have something because she had been a
Yeah.
caretaker for her dad. And she is a caregiver. Denise is a caregiver. And her father passed. And so she was sort of lost.
Yeah.
And so now we are her care. I mean, she takes care of us. I mean,
Right.
literally takes care of us. I mean, she's couples counseling sometimes. She's, I mean, she's just great, and she has the confidence where she knows if we disagree, That's fine. It's not gonna hurt our relationship. Yeah, we may go off um, pissed off and go to
Right.
each other's corner, but we're coming back. Like last week, she didn't agree with me on something, and I knew she didn't. I know, but that
Right.
didn't stop her work. And then today we talked more about it, and we came to an agreement on it.
Yep.
And I said, do it the way you want to do it. I said I was making a suggestion. It may help, but if you don't think that's going to help you, because not everything helps everybody the same way. Um,
Exactly.
and sometimes you have to let go and let them do it on your own. And as long as your goals are being hit anyway, even though you may think it may be more efficient, um, sometimes you just got to let it go. It's
Right.
more important. The job is getting done. It may not be done the way you think it could be quicker or whatever, but let it go.
No one will ever run your business the way that you will, exactly the way that you will, right? It's
Right.
just like that will never happen. And so being okay with some things not getting done that way or disagreeing, but having the willingness to try to hear somebody out. Okay, let's try it. Let's measure it. Let's see. And that you need that flexibility, and kind of agility to do that. And that's something that I really like in small businesses is you can, where I just cannot imagine being in a big corporation where you can't make changes on the fly and you need 5,000 people's permission and it will happen in 2 years. Like, I don't have the patience for that. So,
Right.
it's nice that you guys have that dynamic. And, I think that this is something that's important for people to kind of let sink in, because my next question to you is about finding good people and finding help. Because I know there's some issues right now of finding some good people to help, especially in retail. But getting creative on how you can work with people. So it was so great that she started there. She knows your customers. She knows your brand. She knows you and Drew. You've built this relationship, but her life changed. She wanted to move and be by the grandbabies. And I find that I hear that a lot with other retailers too, of like, oh, my manager is moving. I hate to lose her, but she's wants to retire or whatever and be close to grandkids or kids or, go by the ocean. You can, if they're willing to, and if they still are looking to work, you can make it work and have
Hmm.
that remote job, but they don't have to physically be in the store. So I just love that you guys found a solution for that. That's very smart,
Yeah. Thank you.
because it's hard to find good people. I mean, are you experiencing that right now?
No.
Oh,
Um,
thank
we
goodness.
we did not lose one employee. We only had,
Good.
besides Denise, we have three other ones. They all stood by us, even though they all didn't work. Um, but they did not go out. They have full-time jobs. Um, and every one of our part-time employees were Monkey fans before they were an employee, and they came to us. Um, and Laura Jane has been with me the most, or the longest. She was hired about the same time that Denise was, about a week or two prior. We left them here by themselves to go to the Atlanta market. It was the first Atlanta. It was the market we met you. I
Okay.
had the picture.
Yeah.
And I mean, we left. Now you're talking about being nervous. We left them both in charge of our store. Um, but I had known both of them. I known Denise a good long, about a she was a big Monkey fan, almost to stalker um, status, and and she was just, so I trusted her. Laura Jane came highly recommended, but she had been in the store a few times, but I really didn't know her personally. And one of the things when I hire people, especially females, I don't know if this is appropriate to ask this question on an interview, but I do. I said, can you say the word fuck? I said, that's one of my words you're going to hear. And if that offends you, that is not going to work. And and Laura Jane said, fuck yeah.
Oh, yes. And were you like, and you're hired?
Yes, pretty much. And I do that. I have done that all along, and I do it with the guys too. But we have mainly when we have Denise and Laura Jane, and then we have Eric and Ronnie. Um, and like again, they're all are monkey fans. They have what's really helps is they each have their own little group of monkey fans that when they're on duty, they will come hang out with them.
Oh, love
So,
it.
so it's, I swear, I know some people think, but it is a community, and that's what I've envisioned. It's really a community, and I hope I will tell this damn camera. Um, I hope. I hope people, if you can be one of the things, and I don't know where I got this idea from. I don't know. I can't remember. I just read a lot of books. But if you can create a community around your store, and it doesn't matter what your store is, if you make the people feel something good when they come in, they are going to come back. And all of a sudden, your community is just going to spread. And when bad things happen to you, such as COVID, they're
Right.
going to come put their arms around you. I mean, we had monkey fans cleaning freezers out for us. We've had monkey fans help us install things. Um,
Mm.
and we had a group, our top five, top 10 people, um, they came here every day during COVID just so we would have something.
Oh, that's
And it
amazing.
was amazing. And I started telling them, and I had to finally tell them, where are you putting all this beer? I mean, I know y'all drink, but y'all are buying a lot. And I'm going,
You're
am I going to
drinking
have
it,
to,
Rusty. It was
I
COVID.
was
You're
going to have,
drinking it.
and I was saying, oh my God, am I going to have to turn this into a Sunday AAA meeting or something? I said, I appreciate it. Um, but it was funny. I mean, it got to the point where it was really funny. And, but like I have one monkey fan, she'll come, honey, she knows our policies better than Drew does. And she will sit there and tell a new monkey fan um, that, well, do you know about this? Do you know about this? I don't have to do a thing. We don't have to do a thing. She is
Oh,
selling our business for us, and everybody that comes that's new gets a button, a
oh,
monkey fan button, and so we say, you're one of us, and people will yell out, "Have you given them a button?" And
yep.
and so it's just, and everybody pretty much yells out when somebody comes in, well, before COVID, um, welcome to
Right.
the Green Monkey, y'all.
Oh, I
So,
love it so
yeah,
much.
I mean, we do too. I mean, we're so freaking blessed to have what we have. Um, don't know if we deserve it or not, but it's awesome. And I go home several nights a week and go, how grateful we are for this. And I think you do need to
Mm,
be grateful for your business and your customers. You have to be
absolutely.
grateful,
Absolutely. I mean, we wouldn't be here without them. I mean, it's
right?
so true. But you've created that, like
Mm.
you have created this home, for these people, a place to just be comfortable and relax and meet people. And I love that you give buttons. It's like Disneyland, you could go there and get your button when it's your first time or your birthday. Like that's super fun.
Yep, yep. And
Oh,
don't say
and
we
even,
celebrate everybody's birthday by sending them a little $5 gift card. And so they
oh,
come
love it.
in and get that. And so, um, and, so it's really, like I said, that we feel very lucky, very blessed. We're happy that we're still alive, that we're still here after last year, um, because
Right.
I don't think it was easy for any of us. And I have to toot your horn one more time. And don't see, I followed instructions to your first show to tell you how amazing you are. No,
Yes.
don't see, I had that down here. I had, okay, 3 times, make her feel amazing 3 times.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um, I just have so much fun listening to your show.
oh,
Um,
I love it.
and But oh, don't see now, damn it, I forgot what I was going to say.
You were gonna toot my
Oh, I know
horn.
what it was. I know what it was. No, you referred Kathy to me of
Yes.
Retail Mavens. I don't know
Yep.
if you guys have talked or not, but we are actually in love with Kathy now. Uh, she,
Yes.
she is, I will tell people this. If you do not have a coach, you need a coach.
Yep.
It's the best thing. Now you can have several because I considered Crystal Media my social media coach,
Right.
and Kathy is the store because if we would have, I'm not sure how we might things would have ended up a lot differently. I believe last year if we hadn't have had Kathy and we got her during the last part of the year,
Yeah.
she really helped us infuse some cash into the business when there was
Awesome.
none. Um, and then she's the one that gets into, she shows you the benchmark. I wish we would have had her in 13. So I tell everyone, if you don't have a coach, get one. You may
Yeah.
not think the money, get one. Get
It's
one.
so worth it. It's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your business. There are just things you don't know. Like you can't know it all. And you sit there and you can either figure it out and it takes a really long time. And sometimes we don't have the time to figure it out. You go out of business by that time.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it's like, you have to invest and you're not only going to get where you need to go faster, you're going to go further. That's for sure. And you're
Way
going to be able
further.
to way further. And then you're going to be able to sleep better at night because you have that peace of mind. And then in situations where it's hard when you're running a business of knowing the right answer and you're so in it, to
Yeah.
have your coach and you can ask those questions to help kind of get unstuck. So I love that you guys are working with her.
Because, I think reading books are good. I have books that I
Yep.
read. Downloading white papers, I think that's great. But
Yep.
one thing that really came together, it came together for me when we started working with you guys and Kathy. Everybody has their own opinion and their own twist on things.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you got one telling you this works, you got one telling you this works, but this is opposite of what that is. But they don't know your business.
Exactly.
So that's where the coaches come in because they come in, and I'm not pushing for anybody, but I'm just telling you as a small business owner what put us on the right track, and that's putting us into the future and getting us um, COVID crap
Right.
is knowing where to go and knowing
Yeah.
how to get there and knowing where you are. That was the problem we had. We didn't even know where we thought we did, but we didn't. We had numbers wrong. I mean, we were counting stuff this way that was not right. Um, and the same way with social media, it just helps to get proper training and honey, as much as that mess changes, and I shouldn't
Right.
call it mess, but I mean, right now
It,
it changes every week. You
I
do
know.
not know what's going on, and you don't have time as a business owner. I don't have time to figure all this mess out. One of the things,
Exactly.
about the new iOS crap,
Yeah.
I just let Jessica worry about it.
Yes.
I
Me
didn't have
too.
to worry. I didn't have to worry about it. She just sent me something and said, "Do this," and then I said, "Okay." So
Right.
I just wash my hands of that. I got somebody that's going to tell me what I do. When I go to do it, I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Anybody who's listening, Jessica is on my team. She's one of my Facebook ad managers, and the whole there's this whole iOS update with Apple and not, your ads, you have to actively opt in to be tracked. It's great from a privacy perspective. It's not great from a marketer perspective. And it's really changing the landscape, especially for people who sell online and market online for their e-com. And I think it's appropriate to call it a mess. It feels like that sometimes, and it's my industry. It is. Look, there's a lot, and I'm open on this podcast of some of the negative sides of social media and what that does to people in our youth. It is so hard to keep up with. However, it could be that, and it can also be a really fabulous marketing channel.
Absolutely.
It's for you so pivoted with COVID and jumped into action because that's who you are. And you started doing these daily live shopping events where Rusty would be on Facebook showcasing items, just bringing it to his customers however he could help. He would then interview other people in the community. You brought me on to just talk to your community and give tips like, how can I help my community and my customers? And when you look through that lens, you'll be successful. It's like, and on many levels, it's not just money. It's even just like that gratitude, like we were talking about before, and that fulfillment and that joy that you're serving people and just living in your true, authentic, aligned self. So it does have its good sides for sure.
Oh, I think so. Because it connects people.
Exactly.
Sometimes it connects people that you don't want to be connected with, but most times you just ignore them. You just ignored them because everybody that you couldn't stand in high school all want to be your friend now. And I'm going,
I know. You're like, wait a second, what? We didn't never hang out. Why are we going to be friends now?
Why are we going to do this now?
Yeah. I know. It's so true. But none of social, and from a marketing perspective, none of that matters if you don't know your numbers, because that can't sustain for long, right? Like that's so critical. That's why it's such an important thing that I base my business off of. One of my big success tips from episode 4, which is a fan favorite, where you listen to for the integrator stuff too. Like you got to know your numbers. So we'll link to Kathy of Retail Mavens in our show notes. I call her the Profit Lady. She will definitely be on the show in a future episode. She likes wine. So she has to come on. Yeah.
So she's just great and she knows her stuff.
She so does. And I'm so glad that you took action, because some people will sit around and think like, I don't know if I should invest myself. Maybe I can figure it out. No, I can do this. Like, I'm such a believer that we need support in all aspects of our life.
And she won Drew over. That's what got me. She won Drew over because Drew's skeptical, about this stuff. And he even, as far as the one-on-one coaching that we just moved up to, it took him a few months. And the question that I had to ask him, and I think small business owners need to ask themselves this: okay, would you have known where, would you have gotten here without that coach's help? Would you have known what to do? And he had to answer that honestly. We didn't. I didn't know. I knew some bits and pieces, but it was a mess. And, you may have all the puzzle pieces together, but if you can't connect them, you're not going to finish the puzzle. And if you're missing pieces, you're screwed. And that's what I think happens. And you need, and that's where the book industry, I think, is maybe, because they want to sell books. I get that. But you're missing some of it there.
Yep. Well, if I'm understanding what you're saying, I think that from that perspective of these books or courses that are out there, it is one person's opinion on how to do something. But you said it earlier, they don't know my business. And correct. I went through that. I got training and joined this program called Launch Club and with Jeff Walker, and he's got a great book and he is a great human. And I met some amazing friends that I'm still very close with, and we mastermind together. But that curriculum was a one way to do it. And I went all in on it, and I changed my business. I changed what we were doing to be that, because that was supposed to be the way. And we had our worst launch ever. And so you're just like, man, looking back, it makes sense. We weren't ourselves. We changed everything. We followed somebody else's model that worked for them. And so, look, there's definitely value in getting that training. The key is that you have to adapt it for your customers and your business and stay true to you.
And stay true to you. That's the big thing. Never sway from your vision. No matter what people around you say, don't sway from your vision. Because if you don't believe in what you're doing, it's going to show, and you're setting yourself up to fail.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Love it, Rusty. What is something big or small that is in your professional life that you are proud of?
I would say it's the community that I've built. I'm happy that I know that people come here because they want to. This place makes them happy. And I wish I would have had a place like this early on in my life. But too, I'm in my 50s now, and we have people from 25 up. But I'm really glad that our sweet point is like from 35 to 55. I'm glad that those people feel they can come here and have a good time. Because, when you get up in age, sometimes some people don't feel welcome in other places. We want everybody to feel welcome here.
Yeah.
And that's what we get. And we're so happy that we have so many older, but then the younger come right in. And two, seeing people that have met here, friends on the outside now.
Yeah, totally.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you're connecting people who are creating these friendships, possibly lifetime friendships, which is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's harder. You mentioned that age, like 35 up, it's harder when you become an adult to make friends. It is. So
it is.
If you're new in town or you're going through a separation and you're trying to figure out who you are and meet people, and, it can be really hard. So just to have a local place that just is open arms and everyone is that way because you've created that culture. You often hear about people creating a culture within their business for employees, but you've really created this whole culture that your customers and employees just live and breathe, and it's pretty amazing. I love it.
And that's helped grow our business.
Yeah. Yep. That's something to be very proud of. Very proud of. I'm so glad you didn't become an accountant.
So am I. Because I think I really sucked. So.
Oh my God. That is so funny, Rusty. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So I love it. If somebody was thinking about opening a storefront today, what advice would you have for them?
Okay. Do your homework. And what do I mean by your homework? Understand what you want to achieve. Have some idea how you think you can achieve it. And do a business plan. Now, I'm going to talk both sides of my mouth here. Now, I actually took a course to do a business plan when I started here because I wanted to do this right. And so I remember I asked the instructor, I said, I don't mean any disrespect or whatever, but I said, this is just blowing smoke up our ass. I said that to her. And she said, Rusty, you are absolutely right. But if we did not tell you to do this, you wouldn't have known your credit cards were 3%. You need to count for that. You wouldn't have known you needed to count for this. You wouldn't have known. These numbers, these numbers probably are not right. But this makes you think where you need to go and how you're going to figure out to get there. That's the only reason why a business plan is done, unless you need financing or whatever. But most small businesses, you're probably not going to be able to get, it's going to be very difficult for a small business to get a huge it's going to all be based on personal. I think.
Right.
I don't think it's going to
Right.
be based on your business. And so that's the one thing that I learned, and you have to stay true to your vision.
Yep. Love it. So you have mentioned that you've read books. I'm wondering if you're more of a book person or a podcast person.
I'm getting more into the podcast now. It
Yeah.
took me the longest time to do podcasts, but we can do them in the car. I can put headphones on. The main thing, too, is Drew doesn't like to read, and he won't listen to podcasts on his own unless it's something he really wants to listen to. And so I make him listen in the car on the way here, and then we
Oh,
can
that's
talk about it.
perfect.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Dustin and I do that too. Like we'll just put on a book or podcast and chat about it. Yeah. It makes it so much easier.
And the podcast is easier for us to follow. I've tried audiobooks. I lose something with the audio. It doesn't keep my interest. I know the podcast has a beginning and the subject,
Right.
and so we can listen to bits and pieces. You can listen to that small piece and then discuss what you take from it.
Right. Do you have a podcast that you've listened to over the past 30 days that you would recommend?
Yeah, yours. I'm trying to figure out which other one have I listened to over the last 30 days. Yours has been up there the biggest time. Savvy Shopkeeper. I
Oh,
listened
yeah.
to hers.
Okay.
And also Becky Tyre. I loved hers, but she hasn't done one in a while when she messed her shoulder up.
I
Um,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
She's
I really like her.
awesome. I know.
Yeah.
And she loved doing the podcast. And I just love her dearly. We're actually going to New York in a couple weeks, which I'm hoping to maybe see her. But
Oh, cool.
it is a bummer that she's got Retail Details podcast. So you can check out past episodes. She just hasn't updated in a little bit. Yeah, they're wonderful.
Yeah, do check out hers. Hers is wonderful. And Bob Phibbs, I check his out. Tell me something good about retail. I like that one, but sometimes he gets into the larger companies a little bit more than I like. I like to keep it small, and we'll just pop around to some, but I listened only usually just to the business ones. Like my friends are just trying to tell me the World of Dolly Parton or something. They said I have to listen to that podcast, and we haven't had a chance to listen yet because we're a big Dolly
Okay.
fan here. We are a huge Dolly fan here, so
Well, it sounds like you should listen to that podcast then.
it does because they said it's really, really awesome. So
Oh,
yeah,
very cool. I might check that out too. I'm not a
yeah.
huge fan, but it's like there's just so much creative content that's being produced and it's very interesting. So I haven't even heard that that podcast was out there. Very cool.
And it's not her podcast.
It's just about her.
It's just about her
Okay.
and stuff like that or
Interesting.
something. One thing I love her because she's a very smart woman. And it was about 10 years ago, because she's like 85 now or something like that and still working. But she was around in her 70s. And somebody asked her, why did you just hire a social media team? She said, what do you mean? Why did I hire somebody? Well, Dolly, you don't really need. She said, it's an investment in my future.
Oh, dang. Yep.
So if it's good enough for Dolly, it's good enough for me.
Hell yeah, it is.
I mean, come on. She's 75. And that's one thing Gary Vee says now, too, that you are not, people are living to 95 and 100, and a lot of small businesses start when they're in their 50s.
Right. Exactly.
So I say, don't, if you got a dream, go for it.
Yep. And let people know about it. People get kind of like,
absolutely,
they're in their bubble and too afraid to kind of go out and share and promote. And they feel like, oh, but it's all about me. And it's like, sure, you are talking about your business or your idea or whatever, but like people are looking for connection. People are looking for content to learn, to be inspired, to laugh, to touch their heart, whatever it is that people are looking for. And, you just gotta go for it. And look, I'm saying that it took me years to do this podcast. I've wanted to do this for a long time and had a lot of fear and finally did it. So I get that it can be hard, but you've got to just follow your heart and take a risk and tell people about it.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to approach people. I mean, because a lot of times people think just because you have your own podcast or you have this, that you're, I used to think this because 20 years ago, I would never have approached you in the Atlanta market. No way. Because I said, oh, she's on television. She's on YouTube. I can't touch her. But that's one thing that Drew said about you was, because he met you for the first time really going up the escalator when we were going to one of your, after we had become an insider. But he said that day, wow, she's down to earth. She's just one of us.
Yes. Yes. I am. I love chatting. It's just all, but isn't that funny how internet can totally like make us feel that somebody is a certain way, or you just have no idea until you just meet and connect.
That's the one positive thing about the internet. It is a way to connect people. Yeah. And, that's one thing I have liked about the COVID thing was we now do virtual because we're able to connect with more people. Like our bingo on Tuesday nights, we're not changing that. And I've used it as a marketing because now you have to sign up for our email to gain access to it. And we're getting people from across the United States now. And so that's really awesome.
I love that.
And they asked me, please keep this going because this was their connection. And I said, yes, and it's really cool. So never doubt how you can touch somebody's life.
No kidding. Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you just have no idea. Right. I love that. Gretchen something wrote the Happiness Project, where she just talks about like what makes people happy. And a big part of that was something to look forward to. And so as you do your bingo nights, this is something that Rusty established during COVID to stay connected. Like they did so many events in store and now you can't. And so he took it online and his monkey fans and his community loved it. And now over a year later, they're saying, keep it going, and it's expanding, and people look forward to that. Like you're just really building such an amazing online community through it. So I love it. I love it. Yeah. Rusty, this has been so wonderful. I feel like you have given so much wisdom and advice to my audience, and I think this is the most I've laughed on an episode. So thank you. It's so fun. I love it. I love it. Do you so obviously you sell online, you jumped into action and you have your e-commerce website. People can check you out at the Green Monkey. We're going to, it's your
greenmonkeyraleigh.com.
And we'll link to it, of course, too, in the show notes. Go check them out. If you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, or in the surrounding area, you've got to stop in and get a glass of wine or beer, because they will serve you. You will shop. You will connect. You'll get a button. It'll be so great. And seriously, I'm going to come into your store one of these days. I am a woman of my word.
I love it. Love it.
Of my word. I will be there one of these days. I would love to see your store and hang out.
Well, bring the whole team. I want to meet Pauline and Jessica and Steph. I know. Bring them all. Oh, and then don't forget Eric, because he's the one that puts up with all my stuff, said, okay, Eric, change this. And he has been so wonderful during COVID, because that seemed like the hours change every day. And so we had to send, and he hasn't heard from me. He'll send me a little email and say, hey, do you have any changes? So thank you for that.
Yeah. Eric's my get listed manager, and he is just amazing. I really have an amazing team, and it sounds like you do too. And we actually do talk about how we all want to come see you. So we will figure this out. We'll do some sort of crystal media retreat at the Green Monkey. I love it. I love it. One last cheers, Rusty. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. I was honored to be here. Thank you for letting me be here. I love sharing the story, and hopefully it helps somebody. If it didn't, maybe they could just sit there and go, "Oh, that fool, he is so foolish." At least I entertained them. So,
I have to tell you, you actually said something that I needed to hear, which was don't be afraid to reach out to people, because there are people that I want to ask to be on my show, but I'm like, oh, I should be a little bit bigger, or I got to wait and grow and all this stuff. And I'm like, or I could ask, and what's the worst? They'd say no, right? Like, and that's okay. I'll survive that. So thank you. You helped me.
well, thank you. Good. Because you've helped
Love
me
it.
so much over the last 2 or 3 years. I can't remember now how long I've been an insider. So I
Yeah.
just know that I have learned so much. And thank you for
Oh,
keeping up with this IRS mess.
yes. Thanks to Jess. She is doing a fabulous job. We will all make it through. We love having you as an insider and get listed client. And truly, because you do the work, like you implement, you share, you're involved. It makes us so happy. So love having you involved. Please tell both Drew and Denise that I say hello.
I will.
And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. If you found something helpful, you want to share it, please do so. Tag both Crystal Uncorked and the Green Monkey. They're very active on both Facebook and Instagram. And thank you again, Rusty, and
Thank you, darling.
everyone else. We'll see you on the next CU. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Are you on Instagram? I'd love to see pictures of you listening to the show, a screenshot of your favorite episode, and or your favorite wines. Share them with me. Just follow and tag at Crystal Uncorked. I can't wait to see you there. All right, I'll see you on the next CU.